There's 8 different PLL teams. How do you figure out which one you're going to root for? Let's talk about that today utilizing NFL teams so you can figure out your PLL teams. The Archers are one of the original 6 teams from 2019. Their colors are orange and blue, which actually it does look pretty cool. And they've got their sweet bows up celly, which is pretty awesome as well. But the Archers have not quite been super successful yet. Even though they've had a collection of talent, the Archers have been to the semifinals twice in 2020 and 2022, both times losing to the Chaos. The Archers have always been fun to watch, a little flashy, a little razzle-dazzle. They've done some cool stuff on the field, so from that perspective, I think they're kind of like the 49ers. They're a good core group of guys that are really good at lacrosse. They seem to be having fun. They seem to be having a blast, just like the 49ers are doing out there on the field, but they can't quite break through just like the 49ers. Now, I'll say all this with a caveat. They have reinvented themselves in 2023. They lost a couple of studs from the team, and Holman and Manny have gone off to different teams. So it'll be interesting to see if they're still the same cool guy crew, but you do have the 2 Happy Valley components in Grant Amen and now Mac O'Keefe showing up on the Archers. They will again be another fun team to watch this year. Next on the list is the Atlas. Bulls up, horns up. I don't remember. The Atlas are one of the original 6 teams. Their colors are navy, light blue, and I think it's bone. I mean, it's like a bone color. It's actually kind of cool. This team has been to the semifinals once in 2021, losing to the Chaos. Chaos have a theme of knocking people out, but we'll get to them later. The Atlas are on to their 3rd coach. Now, Mike Pressler comes in brand new this year. And what's unique about the Atlas is they're actually a really good team. Even though they haven't won anything yet, they're a very young core group. I think this is year they make the jump. And the reason they've done this is they've done a lot of trades. Atlas are poised in a great position, being the 1st and 3rd pick of this draft. A lot of trading of draft picks. Starts to make me think of the Philadelphia Eagles. Another team that has built a solid group of individuals through the draft, getting a lot of really good young players, trading on draft day. That's what this team has done. Very similar to teams. You also have a solid core veteran defense for the Atlas. Eagles also kind of have the same thing offensively. Young guns are ready to take and make an awesome show on the field. Pretty much same team. Next up is the Cannons Lacrosse Club. They were a new team to the PLL in 2021. So this is going to be their 3rd season. The Cannons are a navy and red color. Navy blue, red, kind of your classic American type colors right there. But the Cannons, they haven't been so good. They've been the bottom of the barrel or second to last in their last 2 seasons. Entering their 3rd season, we may see some changes. We may see some newness to this club because they have rebuilt their entire team. Boy, did they bring in a lot of folk. Holman, Cavanaugh, Hartzell, Reese, Sullivan, and Gettleman all got brought into the team this year. This team has always been terrible, always the bottom of the barrel, even though they've had some of the best players in the league. Last 2 years, they've had Lyle Thompson, the best player arguably in the entire league. He's on sabbatical this season, but they brought in a lot of new talent this year. So I liken this team to the Jets, Jets. The Jets fan base, you know the situation. You always think you're going to be a little bit better, and you still wind up bottom of the barrel. I fear the same for this team, except there is hope. Aaron Rodgers has now come to the Jets. The Cannons have completely redesigned their team, the makeup, the look. This may be the year that both the Jets and the Cannons turn their seasons around. Random fact, the Cannons actually originated from the Boston Cannons, which played in the MLL from 2001 to 2020. Random fact, Paul Rabel, the president of the PLL, was drafted by the Boston Cannons in 2008. So he may have a special place in his heart. Just for them. Next on our list is the Chaos. If you love what that name sounds like, you're gonna love this team. They are the grittiest team out there. Their head coach exudes grit, confidence, meme-worthy ability. He's just the man and enjoyable at that, but a very intense dude.
I'm gonna break your fucking neck if he shits on our yard again. No!
The Chaos are red and black. We're also one of the original 6 teams. Andy Towers is the man. He's going to help my comparison here in a minute, but let's first talk. The Chaos have won a championship back in 2021. They won the championship. They were only given a 3 or 6% chance to win the championship, and they still made it through. They were one of the worst teams on regular season, made it to the championship game, and won it. Oh, by the way, they almost did the same exact thing last year by being one of the worst teams in the regular season, but when it comes playoff ball, they show up. They lost in the championship game last year. They're going to have a very interesting squad. If you like Canadian box-style lacrosse, this is the team for you. But moving to the NFL comparison, mainly because of Andy Towers, because of the grit they have, Chaos remind me of the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are building a very interesting, fun young team to watch. They've got that Dan Campbell back there ready to just rip someone's head off. That to me is Andy Towers to a T. The Detroit Lions may not be the best team in the regular season, but they could be scary in the postseason, just like the Chaos. I actually debated on this one. You could also call them the Raiders, because those guys also have the toughness, the swagger, just like the Chaos. Next up is the Chrome. Light blue, pink, and black. I don't really understand the color scheme. But the Chrome are becoming something that they were never before. What's interesting is watching the Chrome change their complexion through the draft. Complexion, is that like a skin thing? Change their composition? Changing their identity through the draft. Last year in the draft, Chrome had the #1 pick and went with Logan Wisnauskas, followed that up with a Brendan Nickturn. Both of those guys competed for Rookie of the Year, and boy did it help this team out. They literally went from last place in 2021 to being semifinalist in 2022. And the last team on our list, I'm sorry, Chrome, I gotta do it to you. I'm just gonna give you a C-. I don't wanna give Ds. I feel bad for giving Ds. Ds don't seem nice. This team literally went from worst in the entire league to at least making it to the quarters in 2022 and surprising out in the quarters. I thought they would have went further. This team just seems like a cool bunch of dudes. Dudes you'd love to hang out in the parking lot, maybe jumping on top of tables, cracking back some cold ones. I see these guys just like the Bills. I'd hang out with all of them except for maybe Messenger. He's really kind of scary. But just like the Bills, they utilized some draft picks to turn their team around. It looks like the Chrome have done that, and they look like a team to be reckoned with today. Bills fans, go enjoy the Chrome. The next one, my beloved Redwoods. I am not biased. They're just the coolest team, except for they haven't won as much as I really want them to. But anyway, the Redwoods are green and yellow and brown. The strongest and coolest of colors. But anyway, the Redwoods in 2019, the inaugural season, made it to the championship game, losing in OT to the eventual champs, the Whipsnakes. In 2020, they had the opportunity in semis, but lost again to the Whipsnakes. And then in the last 2 years, they've only made it to the quarters. So they're going in the wrong direction. They do have a lot of really good players on their team. They've got some Team USA players on their squad. They just haven't been able to turn it into long runs in the playoffs. So the Redwoods, gosh, this is painful. They remind me of the Rams. The Rams kind of sold their soul for that one season, that one magical run. And afterwards, it's kind of like, what just happened? You've got good players. Why are you not winning games? That's kind of the same setup as the Redwoods. I love the guys a lot. I want them to win, but they just aren't winning enough. But they're a lovable group of dudes. Redwoods, great squad to join. Next up are the Waterdogs. That's right, the Waterdogs. The Waterdogs are purple and black. Their unis exhibit the drip of the water. I once heard there's not a whole lot of professional dog teams. Is that true? They are a 2020 expansion team owned by Barstool's Pardon My Take. I'm not really quite sure I understand it. Maybe just theatrics, but yeah, they partly own the team somehow. The Waterdogs continue to expand on that expansion season. That was funny. Continue to grow in that expansion season every year and get a little bit better, a little bit better. They've done phenomenal jobs in the draft all the way to this last year. They won the PLL championship. Not only did they win the PLL championship, they took some epic photos afterwards, and those photos remind me a lot of the Bengals. That's right. I could see Joey Burrow and Mikey Schlosser ripping through some cigs in the locker room, just enjoying a good old time. These guys remind me a lot of each other because if we look at them side by side, they're two very good squads. Bengals haven't broken through and won, but they're two very good squads that are very complete and feel like they have all their best players on contract for a while. The Waterdogs are going to be a good team for a long time. Oh, and they just picked up a couple of great draft picks. Michael Sowers and crew, they're going to be a good team in the PLL for a while. So if you want a front runner, jump on board. Last and least, I mean not least, is the Whipsnakes. They are red, green, and seafoam green. They're again one of the original 6 teams. They won the inaugural championship, followed that up with a 2020 championship. They've been to one more championship game that they lost to the Chaos. This is a team that seems to be always in the championship. This is a team in which a lot of teams or other people just love to hate, and it seems like the Whipsnakes enjoy being hated on. So this is a pretty simple one for me. They're the Patriots. Nobody really likes them. They seem to be really good every year. Now, maybe not the Patriots right now, but Patriots a few years back. If you want to be one of those guys that's in the front runner crew, that loves to be hated on, that loves to be doubted and always comes through, you could be part of the Whipsnake clan. Speaking of hate, how about those jerseys? There's my PLL NFL comparisons. Tell me in the comments below, where did I get this wrong? Which teams would you correlate to the other teams maybe a little differently than I did? Hopefully this helped. If it did, give me a like button. Hit the subscribe. We'll have a lot more PLL content going on all summer long. Don't forget, the games start June 3rd, and we will be seeing them almost every weekend through the summer. Thanks for stopping by. As we say around here, don't forget the little things. I just killed a mosquito. Next, I didn't even look at my notes. Why can't I remember?